So today we're going to be installing my version of HomeLink in the new Toyota Tacoma. I don't have HomeLink in this truck, so I'm going to do my little mod, I guess. And instead of altering pieces of the truck this time, I've decided that I'm going to put it into this tray that kind of goes around the infotainment screen, and I'm going to mount two buttons right here on the side, and those are going to be my garage door opener buttons. So we need to whip this thing out. We'll drill a couple holes in the side and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. And this works really well. Real quick, as far as the most complicated part of this, I guess, it really is soldering a couple of wires to your guts of your garage door opener, right? This is the circuit board from inside the garage door opener. And all you have to do is find the button, in this case this one, that activates the garage door. And you see those four soldered areas around that button? You want to locate those on the other side. And then touch two of them, touch the wire together to make sure you've got the right two of the four. If that activates the transformer or the remote, and you'll know that because that light right there will light up, then you've got the right ones, and all you have to do is gently solder the ends of a couple of wires onto those points, and you've extended the button, if you will. And then the end of the wires you put on are going to attach to a momentary switch, which does the exact same thing as if you were pushing on the clicker itself, right? So you push on the momentary switch and it activates the garage door opener. It's that simple. And what that allows you to do is to remotely, I guess, locate your garage door opener anywhere you want, as long as you can mount these buttons. And then of course you hide the circuit boards out of sight so you can't see them. All you see are these buttons, and that's what we're going to do. Now, I've got the tray out of the truck, and this just slips around the infotainment screen. There is no adhesive or anything on this. As you can see, it just sits in there via friction. Works really, really well. And now it's going to be twofold for me. It allows me to mount my phone and my camera in the truck, and then over here on the side, somewhere right below this piece of tape, is where I'm going to mount both of these buttons. And then I'm going to hide the circuit boards right underneath this front part, right down in this area. There's nothing that impacts them, and they fit down in there, so I'll just probably double side tape them in there. And then I will run the wires around here right up to the switch that I'll have, or the two switches that I'll have mounted right here, or up and down actually. And that's it. Also, what this allows me to do is to move this to another truck, assuming it has the same kind of screen, if I wanted. And no, I am not looking to get another truck. But it also keeps me from damaging anything inside the truck. In the past, what I've done is I've utilized the, what do you want to call them, the dead buttons inside the truck. See if I can get this open. Might be able to show you. These buttons right here, they look a little different in the truck, but you can see this is one I had done in the past where I drilled a hole through the blank and then mounted a switch in there. Okay, for the first one, I'm just going to pick a spot. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go about right here, I think, right in this area. See if there's enough room behind, and there should be plenty. So I want to go ahead and get my hole going. Just want to make sure there's enough space behind there for the length, if you will, of this momentary switch from the top to the bottom, although about a quarter inch or so is going to sit up above. So it should be okay there, I think, because almost the whole thing will fit. It's going to be tight, but you want it to be tight, I guess. Alright, let's get a pilot hole started for our step bit. Alright, after the pilot hole, of course, we're going to use a step bit, and we want it to be big enough to fit the bottom part of the threaded area of the momentary switch in, and that's it. So be kind of careful on this one, and nor do I want to drill through the other side of the tray here. And this thing just eats this stuff, man. Alright, I've got the hole drilled through, and I did have to bend the ends of the momentary switch a little bit because they impact the other layer inside here. So it's going to go in like so, and then I'll tighten it down with a bolt, or a nut rather, from the other side, and it's going to look like that, at least the first one. The second one, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, and then we'll install the momentary switches in and connect them to the garage door openers. Okay, we've got the switches mounted. That's what they look like. Hopefully they're fairly close. I doubt that they are. So now it's just a matter of connecting the boards, if you will, for the garage door openers to the front part of the holder here, and to the wiring, of course, as well. And I'll do that. I'm probably just going to tape them. They don't need much. They just need to contact. Yeah, I probably will solder them and then wrap some black electrical tape around, and that's it. That's going to be all we're going to do. So let me go ahead and get that part done, and then I'll show you where I'm going to mount them underneath here. Alright, progress report. I got the wires soldered onto one of the switches, and I've got it taped down. You can see a little bit of the tape there. The tape is really just to steady it. There's no pressure on it at all, so it's just a placeholder to keep it right where I want it to be, because once this is in the truck, this whole bottom is going to be sitting on top of the dash, right? Wires are tucked under so that they don't hit anything. I don't anticipate any vibration noise, but if there is, I can put just a piece of foam under here and I won't have any noise. Now, I've got to go ahead, finish the other one. It's going to go right here beside this one, connected to this wire, and then we'll be done. By the way, quick test, there's the bulb. I'm going to push the button right here, and you should see it light up if it works. Don't know if you could see that, but it did work. Alright, got it all done. You guys can see the way it's mounted here, and I mounted it this way intentionally to have access to the batteries when I need to change those, because of course they're going to go bad. The wiring runs along the side. I did put a little piece of tape here to keep this down, really just for when I put it back in the truck. And here are the switches on the sides. So all that's left to do is to go ahead and put it in the truck. Oh boy, for a second there I thought I put the buttons on the wrong side. Oh my God, that would have been a nightmare. That's it. That's what it looks like. Here's the two buttons, and actually I have this one. Let me grab the camera. I have the bottom one kind of off a little bit, but as it turns out, it makes it easier to see from the driver's seat. So, oops, right there. It just makes it easier to see here and access. So, pretty good. So, that's all you can see is a couple of buttons. If I really wanted to hide them, I would have used black instead of blue on the top. I wanted them to kind of match the truck a little bit. I know it's a different color, but blue is blue, right? Anyway, that's the whole mod. I love this little mod myself. I am not the originator of it. I discovered this on the web. Somebody had done some kind of homemade home link years and years ago. I don't even remember what or where it was. But anyway, this is cool. And again, it's a way to add home link, which I don't have, to the truck without messing with any of the buttons or anything in here. I could have mounted them here, which I've done before, and then run the wires out to the hood. I actually had the circuit boards under the hood, but it didn't work too well. This should work great because there's really nothing blocking the signal except glass and a little bit of plastic, but the circuit boards are actually in the front, so it should work really well as far as signal goes. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd be curious to know. On to the next mod. Have a great day. Bye.